Hey guys, and welcome to my new movie review for the movie that came out in 2020, The New Mutants. The New Mutants is rated M. The duration of The New Mutants is 1 hour and 34 minutes long, and it is an action horror sci-fi movie with an incredible cast of Maisie Williams as Rain Sinclair, also Anna Taylor-Joy and Aless Rasputin, also Charlie Heaton, Sam Guthrie, also guys, Alice Braga, Dr. Reyes, and Blue Hunt, Danielle Moonstar, and last but absolutely definitely not least, Henry Zaga, Roberto da Costa, and it's directed by Josh Boone. Now guys, let's roll that synopsis and I'll give you my thoughts on this movie straight after that. 5 young mutants, just discovering their abilities while held in a secret facility against their will, fight to escape the past sins and save themselves. Guys, straight off the bat, I need to say this. Straight off the bat, the opening sequence of this movie, Danny's dad, played by a man named Adam Beach, his opening line in this movie completely, utterly, 100% totally threw me off. And I mean literally. It seemed so fake and it seemed so unbelievably scripted that it really made me go, really? Like the director didn't think to retake that, shot? Like it was just so bad. Like it really surprised me. I mean, genuinely, honestly surprised me at just how it was just awkward. Like it was almost like you could tell that he was literally acting in front of a green screen. Like, oh, run, oh. Like it was just so bad. And that was the element of the movie that made me go, oh man, please don't let this be this movie. Like let it be good, let it be decent, like let it actually happen. Now, other than that, one of the things that I was a little bit surprised at in this movie, and I don't know why, but I kind of felt like there would be more of it to this element of the movie, and I don't know why, but I kind of thought that there was going to be sprinkled throughout the movie more special effects, and maybe that's just me. Maybe I was just, because it's connected to the X-Men universe, maybe that's what I was expecting it to be. Maybe, I'm not too sure. Other than that, guys, this movie is amazing. This movie is absolutely amazing. For those of you who have been following my channel for any period of time, or if you're new to my channel, hey, what's up? Welcome. I don't do spoilers in my movie reviews at all. That's right, Mr. M&M Man, I do not do spoilers in my movie reviews. Why? Because in my personal opinion, if you really want a movie spoiled and you want to see it that badly, just go see it. Like literally, why wait? Anyway, I don't do spoilers. This movie is amazing, guys. Like seriously, the cast chemistry specifically, and for those of you who've been following my channel for any period of time, you guys know specifically that I love cast chemistry, because cast chemistry has to work. Not only does it have to work in an amazing storyline, which this is pretty decent, but the cast chemistry, you've got to buy their interaction. You've got to buy what they're going through. You've got to buy their chemistry. You've got to buy their interaction with each other. And I bought it 100%. There's a few scenes in this movie that made me roll my eyes because it's like, oh, whatever, like just personal things that I don't agree with and that I just think is like, oh, you're overblowing that sort of stuff. In saying that, guys, this movie really does target the audience that it's headed towards, and it really does that in an amazing way. Now, I have to say, even though this movie is rated M, I get why it's rated M, because there's actually some sequences in this movie, specifically towards the end of this movie, that really have an element to it of obviously horror, but it's a little bit more like full on, and it's purely because of the fact that of what the element of the horror is in the movie, because they really try and target that element of this movie. And I have to say, guys, 100%, I was actually genuinely, seriously impressed with the horror elements of this movie. Not once ever did I be like, oh, gee, that looks terrible, or oh, that looks fake. Nothing like that. If you don't know, guys, this movie was actually supposed to come out a really long time ago, and unfortunately it has just dropped recently. Now, for those of you who have been wondering why am I so late to this movie review, it's because I actually haven't had a chance to do it yet. So that's why I'm doing this now. So I apologize for that. But anyway, guys, seriously, guys, I very, very, very highly recommend this movie. I really do. Now, the question that I ask myself and I ask my audience out there, and the thing that I love to mention in my movie reviews as a little thing, my little kicker, does the New Mutants have the core element in its DNA to go back later in time after time after time, to go back and rewatch it? And that, do I say, does it have rewatchability, guys? Does the New Mutants have rewatchability, guys? And that, I say to you, purely because of the cast chemistry, guys. Yeah, New Mutants definitely has rewatchability to it. It really, really does, guys. And the really big reason behind that specifically is because the ending is just, there's just so many elements of the wow factor, specifically after the first half. So the first half of the story is really developing the characters to what we end up knowing, and then they just really crank up the CGI elements to the end of it, obviously because it's in the X-Men franchise. And I was really impressed. I was really, really impressed, guys. I really was. No word of a lie. This movie has definitely put a tick on my box. Absolutely. When New Mutants does finally get released on DVD Blu-ray, I will definitely 100% be purchasing this movie because I was thoroughly impressed. I hope you guys are impressed just as much as I was. Have you had a chance yourselves to go and see New Mutants? I hope you have. I really hope you get a chance to go and see this movie because I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it, specifically if you're a fan of the X-Men franchise. And yes, they do give a nod / shout out to the X-Men. It's really quite clever. It's really how they do that. I thought it was really well scripted, and it made a lot of sense in the development of that specific scene that they actually mentioned it. So for anyone who's been following my channel for any period of time, guys, you guys know that I love to give you guys trivia because in my personal opinion, trivia in a movie review is just like icing on a cake. Oh, and who doesn't love cake? Oh, I love cake so much, guys. So it's trivia time. The film has had 5 release date shifts. It was originally slated to come out on 13th of April 2018. But was first delayed on the 19th of February 2019. In order to conduct reshoots later, it was pushed back again to the 2nd of August 2019, while Disney purchase Fox was finalized. It was pushed back yet again to the 3rd of April 2020 to make room for the release of X-Men Dark Phoenix in 2019. On March 12th, 2020, it was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic on the 13th of May 2020. Its new release date was the 28th of August 2020 and was announced finally on the released on. Wow. Next piece of trivia is, guys, this film features 4 members of the original New Mutants groups: Cannonball, Mirage, Sunspot, Wolfsbane, with Magic being a member from the 2nd roster. Next piece of trivia is, guys, the filmmakers described the film as a haunted house movie with a bunch of hormonal teenagers and cite the works of horror storytellers Stephen King and teen drama filmmaker John Hughes as a massive influence on the film. Next piece of trivia is, guys, the film was going to be released on the 13th of April 2018, but the producers pushed back the date to the 22nd of February 2019 so that it didn't conflict with Deadpool 2 2018. And the X-Men Dark Phoenix 2019, the producers took this opportunity to have part of the films reshot so that it could be scarier, inspired by the success of the recent horror films such as Get Out 2017 and It 2017. Next piece of trivia is, guys, the filmmakers cite the films 1. Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest 1975, The Shining 1980, The Breakfast Club, 1985, and The Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, 1987. As an influence on the film's production design, due to the close set and the settings each film used for dramatic purposes. Next piece of trivia is, guys. Elena carries a dragon toy. This is a homage to Lockheed, a pet dragon owned by the X-Men. In the comics, he was owned by Kitty Pryde Showdarkett. In the film, he's owned by Magic. Next piece of trivia is, guys. Blue Hunt is a Native American and Henry's Agras is Brazilian, just like their respective characters, Daniel Moon and Roberto da Costa. However, English actor Charles Heaton and Macy Williams played the American Sam Guthrie and the Scottish Rayne Sinclair, and the Argentinian English-American actress Anna Taylor-Joy played the Russian Aurelina Rasputin. Next piece of trivia is, guys. A villain in the film was a smiley face mask. In the comics, the New Mutants face with the Mutants face supremacy group known as the Right, who wore smiley faces in their masks. Next piece of trivia is, guys. The lettering for the promotional logo reflects the eclectic artistic style of Bill Sienkiewicz, who drew the New Mutants comics in the 1980s. Next piece of trivia is, guys, Josh Boonen intended this film to be the first in a trilogy, with the second film being an alien invasion movie featuring the alien mutants Warlock, and then the third final installment to be supernatural apocalyptic horror movie based on the X-Men comic events Inferno. Demons invade the Earth and magic plays a major role. Next piece of trivia is, guys. John Hamm was cast to portray the Nathaniel X. Mr. Smith Sinister, with filming for the role completed, though his role has reportedly been cut from the film as a result of an extensive reshoot process that is changing elements of the film. Next piece of trivia is, guys. Director Josh Boonen is a major X-Men fan and owns a large amount of their comics. Guys, this is going to be the final piece of trivia. I appreciate you hanging in there. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. This is the final piece of trivia. The majority of the film was shot on location at Medfield State Hospital in Massachusetts. This hospital was the state's first mental asylum, and most of the cast member and crew were unsettled by the location. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you being here. Please don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, click that bell for notifications. You guys are amazing. Don't forget who's bringing this movie review for the New Mutants 2020. This is Superman Steve, guys. As always, loving you. Flying out.